So here goes. Our common assessment task, which I have given you a soft copy of already, the theme is about cartoonists. And I'm hoping that you have had a chance to even just go through it briefly. So the cat task, or that's a repetition actually, the cat consists of 5 tasks. And what we're going to do today is just talk a little bit about cartoons. But I think it's difficult for you to really engage in a discussion with me if you haven't had some background or some context. And so what I've done today on your Google Classroom, I've put up 6 short videos about cartoons, okay? And so I think that your starting point should be to just watch those clips where they talk about cartoons. Now, when the common assessment task talks about cartoons, they are not just talking about what I call what is known as the caricature. They are not just talking about what is the editorial cartoon, that's another name for your caricature. They are also talking about the panel cartoon strip. What is the panel? When you have maybe 3 or 4 frames, that is also known as your cartoon. Even a even a meme can fall under the umbrella topic of cartoons. Okay, so the main idea of the cartoon is that we are supposed to analyze our own beliefs, and we are supposed to question or analyze the beliefs of others. In other words, a cartoon is simply there to stimulate thinking. Okay, and usually the cartoons rely on specific techniques which we will be looking at. For example, satire. You all know what satire is. Can someone just briefly tell me what is satire now again? Satire, grade 12. And there is silence. Satire is using humor to put over a serious point. So you want to convey a serious point to your audience, and you use satire to do that. Think of all those cartoon images with Zuma, with a shower head. Before we even look at anything, just the fact that there's a shower head is a constant reminder of what he has done. It's funny when they show Zuma with a shower head, isn't it? But it's a reminder what? That he said you just have to take a shower and you will not contract HIV. So the cartoon, and I'm going to look at this in a little bit more detail, he uses things like satire, it uses irony, saying one thing, but you actually mean another. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the different techniques that that the cartoonists use. Our introductory lesson, we are not really going to be looking at that until you have watched those video clips, so that it's going to make a lot more sense. And we're also going to look at the freedom of speech, which is a very important part of the South African Bill of Rights. We are also going to be touching on hate speech, and we are also going to look at when cartoonists, I'm talking about the collective group, when they made a submission to UNESCO and they want to be recognized. Okay, so for our purposes right now, the video clips is most important. If you watch those clips back to back, it's simply going to take you one period. And I deliberately chose it for today because you've got tomorrow, and you know that you are matric, so it's not like you have a free day tomorrow. So I just want to run through what it is, how we are going to work, and I hope that you are going to take note of this. So step one is watching your videos. Number two, we are then going to have our small discussion on what we have seen in the videos. Then we are going to come to your task 2. Now, task 2 will take place after we've had this discussion. So I'm already looking here. By Friday, we'll have our discussion, which means you'll have the weekend to work on your task 2. Now, in task 2, you are going to have to do your own research. And in your research, you are going to look for a cartoon. You can have a cartoon and a meme, but I will say just, if you find a meme, you're lucky, but just focus on the cartoon. And you are going to take this cartoon and you will have to analyze the cartoon and try and see what techniques have they used in the cartoon. So one, it's going to be what kind of techniques have they used, and then you're going to say, what is the effect of this cartoon? What are the effect of the techniques? Do they make one change your thinking? Do they make you question certain things that are happening? And so, you know, the way we do our visual literacy grade 12, when we literally look at each element in the frame, that is going to be your starting point for your task 2 and for your cartoon. Now, what you're going to give me on Monday, and you're going to email this to me so that it's easy for me to print, because I prefer to print it and then it's easier for me to mark, is you're going to have basically 4 steps. You're going to have your, no, I'm talking now once you have found your cartoon, you're going to have your cover page. And on your cover page, you are going to have all the details, your name, English home language, grade 12, common assessment task, task 2. Are you with me so far? Are you with me so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's your cover page. And then on your first page, you are going to have the image of your cartoon, and if you have a meme as well, but I'm just satisfied with a cartoon. Then on your third page, you are going to just briefly state what are some of the techniques that you see. Then on your 4th page, you are going to make some notes, even if it's 2 paragraphs in which you say, how do the techniques and how does the cartoon affect you? So basically, no 2 people are going to have the same cartoon. Okay. Are there any questions at this point? No questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Does that mean it's clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
So far,
And
yes,
then
ma'am.
it's only when you have done you've given me that task, then we will have another discussion again, because by then you will be very familiar, and then we'll get marks. That second discussion, that task 3, you will be getting marks for that. So it's very important that everyone participates in that discussion, and that discussion will probably be here Monday, Tuesday for the latest, and it's going to be so important that everyone is in that Zoom meeting. And just talking once is not going to get you an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? On the one hand, you need to talk more than once, but on the other hand, it's also what you say. It's pointless talking, and you're not making any real points. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you the big picture of where our cat is moving. Okay, and then of course the task 4, which is the biggest part, that is going to be in the form of a test, but it's a test in inverted commas because you actually be writing an essay. Now, if we are still, and I think that will be still taking place while we are in lockdown, what will happen is you will have all your notes with you, because I have given you notes which you will be reading tomorrow. Yes, it's Ascension Day, but you can still, and it's a lot of notes that I expect you to be reading tomorrow. So take it in stages, read one handout, and then you take a break, and then you do something else, and then you come back to a second one. Some are longer than others. What's going to happen is with the written task, because that's an hour and a half, all the English teachers, we will upload that essay question at the same time. Let's say we're all setting it up at 12 or at 2 o'clock, and we give you an hour and a half in which to answer the question. And then after that, you have something like between 10, maybe at a maximum 15 minutes, but I prefer to work with 5 to 10 minutes in which to submit your reply. So you must be typing that. Some people find that they write faster than they type, and if it's written very clearly, like with the black pen, and then you email that to me within that 10 minutes, because as soon as the time is up, I will then remove the test from Google Classroom, you see, and then I can print it and then I can mark it. So that's where we will be going. And then of course the last thing is your oral, will be your speech, your prepared speech, which is based on all of the work that we've done. But that is the easy part, because that you can literally record yourself. You can make a video of you doing your speech. And of course, it's so nice because the time will show, and then you can just WhatsApp me your speech. Okay, and all of that will be taking place. Well, maybe with the speech, I can still give you an extra week, but by the written task, by the end of next week, that's where we will be at. Shoo.
Ma'am, can we audio?
Is that a lot, people?
Ma'am, can we audio the speech, not video?
No, you can't audio the speech, because audio means you could literally be sitting there and reading the speech. And when we do a speech in class, you are standing there, I can see you, I can see your cue cards, I can see you doing it. And please remember that reading is still not speaking when it comes to the speech. So that is why it will be, but don't worry about that. It's just right now, I want you to go and watch those clips. The longest is 13 minutes, and I think the shortest is 2 minutes. Okay, so please go and watch that. And that will, and as you're watching, I would encourage you just to make a few comments for yourself, just jot down a few points. And then tomorrow you are going to read some of those notes. And then on Friday, we will have our big discussion. And on Monday, you will be submitting your task 2. Are there any questions? No questions. Mr. Koza? Yes, Asanda.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Asanda.
Ma'am, for the oral, is it the one that we're supposed to do before?
No, no, this is strictly linked to the CAT task. So the subject.
So we have to write another one.
No, this is, yes, this is a second speech. This is because the oral that you're going to do is going to be a persuasive speech. Okay. And that one is going to involve cartoons. You will have to have 2, maximum 3 cartoons that you will incorporate into your speech. But like I say, let's not worry about that, because that's at the end, the prepared persuasive speech. Okay, any other questions? COVID, Mube, who's that? Oh my goodness, who's that? There's a question from COVID, Mube. Yes. Please speak, COVID, Mube. No question. Okay, guys, if you have any other questions, you know that you can talk to me on the WhatsApp group. So I'm going to sign off here because you still have, you've got about 20 minutes, so you can get into watching a good couple of those. You can watch at least 3 of those videos now. I'm going to ask you not to delay. I'm going to ask you to don't think you're going to do all this tomorrow, because there's no way you are going to get through all the reading material and the videos tomorrow, unless you're going to do nothing else except English tomorrow. And I don't think that's going to be the case. All right. So can we then sign off here? Grade 12?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any comments so far? Any comments, not even questions, comments about the common assessment task?
Ma'am,
It's
can I
hard,
ask a
ma'am.
question about our portfolio?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, what is the CAT, this task that we're doing? And what else is going in? Is there still the film study?
Yes, the film study is what we will be looking at next. We just need to get this out of the way, because this is a big chunk.
How much does the CAT count for our portfolio?
Well, I think it comes to 50 marks. It's 50 out of the 300. And then the film study is I think it's 60. And then 40 for the tests. And I can't remember what else right now. Oh, and then 90 for the essays, and so on and so on. Yes, Piwo?
Morning, ma'am.
Okay, morning. Dalu, is there any final comment?
Ma'am, Ma'am,
Okay,
in our
yes.
portfolio, what do we have so far? Nothing, right?
Only the essays.
Ma'am, which
Oh,
essays?
so we're done. The holiday essays.
We've got the essays. Those are the things that we have. So we've got the essays, and now we're working on our cat, and then the next thing will be the film study. Okay. And remember, for the tests, I will use your 2 best tests. I will use for that component of the portfolio. And then, of
Ma'am,
course, the prelim exam goes in there as well. The prelim exam.
And how much does the prelim come for the rest of the marks?
I think prelim is. I think it comes to 40. If I'm not mistaken. Okay. Yes, Dalu.
ma'am, when will the prelims be? Because like I kept hearing rumors that there won't be prelims, it's just gonna write end of year.
No, we are not having June exams, but prelims will happen. There's no way you can write finals without prelims. And so what you must just be, whose name is Quarantine Gladla? Oh my word.